Good morning and welcome you all to our Ali Muhammad Salik Polytechnic College webinar. I am thankful to our management for this opportunity to learn new technology in this lockdown period. Today webinar is about Internet of Things, IoT technology for smart campus. I welcome you all and I am welcome you our speaker Dr. Uma Mageshwari, Assistant Professor in SRM College. She has completed her PhD and well knowledge in artificial intelligence, digital image processing, and IoT technology. Ma'am, you can start, ma'am.
Thanks for your introduction, sir. Before I start, I would like to thank Secretary Mr. Sheikh Jamaluddin, sir, Principal, Professor A. Gadi Ramat, sir, HOD Mr. D. Sendil Kumar, sir, and Mr. Govindan, sir, of AMS Group of Institution to give me this golden opportunity. And also, I thank Raj Kumar, sir, of CSE Department, SRMIST, to refer me. And also, I thank my head of the department, Dr. A. Vimala Juliet, ma'am, of EIE of SRMIST, who always encourage me to give this type of webinar. So we can start the webinar now.
Your PowerPoint is visible, ma'am.
Okay, sir. So let me start the webinar on IoT for Smart Campus. Okay. Let us start with the IoT story. Don't think that I'm going to tell the history or biography of IoT. Just I'm going to tell one small story. You just imagine a world, or you just imagine in your home, all the electronic devices are connected with internet. So while you started from your office, you are sending a message to the AC to get switch on. Okay, after you come to the home, you just standing in front of the home, and there was a sensor. Okay, so there was a sensor which is scanning your iris recognition. After it found it is an authorized person, then the door is unlocking. Okay, once the door was unlocked, the notification is sending to the television, water heater, because you feel that while you enter the home, you like to see a film in the TV, or you like to take a hot bath, or you like to have a cup of coffee. So that the notification is sending to the television, water heater, and coffee maker, and also AC is already switched on. Okay, so how do you feel on that time? You just feel very relaxed and cool, right? So you just imagine all the things are possible, everything is possible in IoT. So you just imagine this is such a big potential. I think all of you came to the IoT environment, right? Just give a thumbs up. So we can see what is Internet of Things. You just whatever I told in the IoT story here reflected as a definition, isn't it? You just compare the story with this definition. It is connecting everyday things. Everyday things is nothing but my TV, water heater, or coffee maker, whatever it is, embedded with the electronic software and sensors to the internet, enabling them to collect and exchange the data. So this is what the IoT. Okay. So next we can see what is the current status and future prospects of IoT. So you can see here on 2003, the world population is 6.3 billion and connected devices is 500 million. But now by 2020, the world population was increased to 7.6 billion, and you can see the connected devices has been increased to 50 billion. So it is more connected devices than the people. So this is actually the growth of IoT. And next we can see the difference between the intranet of things and internet of things. You have a 3 level of control element. Control element is nothing but, for example, I'm just taking a AC. So the first level of control is you'll be having a remote, right? So you'll be having a remote. So you have to stand in front of the AC and you can operate by IR sensor. It will operate. You can operate the AC, right? This is the first level of control element. And the second level of control element is the Internet of Things. Internet of Things is nothing but you is a second level of control element. You can control the AC anywhere in your home, isn't it? Using your mobile phone or even a remote. It's nothing but your gateway. I will explain you what is nodes or things, gateway and all later. So it's nothing but your gateway is connected to the local server and local client. Okay. And third level of control element is nothing but, again, you just go to the story. What we are doing after, once you started from the office, you're just sending a message to the AC, isn't it? So it's nothing but you're connected that AC electronic devices with the internet. That is known as the Internet of Things. So you can see the main difference between these two pictures. So Internet of Things is you're connecting a gateway with the a local server, and Internet of Things is nothing but you're connecting a gateway with the remote server. This is very important. Remote server, and it is given to the remote client. So this is the difference between this Internet of Things and Internet of Things. So next we can discuss what is things or nodes. So things or nodes is nothing but it can be a computer, or it can be a mobile phone, or it can be a microcontroller. But the thing is, things or nodes should have the capability of three things. That is, it should have the capability of data acquisition, data processing, and data communication. Okay, let us see one by one. What is data acquisition? So data acquisition is nothing but, again, you just compare with the story. So once you enter the home, before you enter the home, there was a sensor, right? So that is my input device, right? So that sensor is sending a message, or say, is connected, sending a signal to the microcontroller. After it receives a signal only, the door is getting open, right? So that microcontroller is nothing but my things or nodes. It should have the capability of acquiring the data, as well as it should have the capability of storing the data. Okay, that is known as the data acquisition. And next one is data processing. So data processing is nothing but, so again, I'm taking the sensor is my input device, right? For example, I'm taking a temperature sensor. So temperature sensor output will be in terms of centigrade or Fahrenheit, you will get it, isn't it? But either you will get it in terms of centigrade and Fahrenheit directly, no. The sensor output will be in electrical signal, and electrical signal will be converted to the digital signal. It can be zeros or ones, but we cannot able to get the appropriate value in terms of centigrade or Fahrenheit. In order to get that, we go for the edge computing, is nothing but my data processing. So that things are nodes. These things are nodes should have the capability of doing this data processing, right? So next one is data communication. So data communication is nothing but as I told, again, you just compare with the story. The microcontroller is sending a message to the a television or a water heater, right? So how it is possible? Actually, it is communicating with the remote server, right? Remote cloud IoT platform. That is known as the data communication. So if you are selecting a things or nodes, so these three qualities are very important, or capabilities should have by the things or nodes, right? So next, this is very, very important. This is IoT architecture. So again, you just compare with the story. So first input device is my sensor. Okay, there I have iris sensor, but here I can have any sensor. It can be a temperature, motion, pressure, or gas sensor. Okay, this sensor is given to the gateways. Gateways is nothing but my microcontroller. So the microcontroller can be, you can use the Arduino or Raspberry Pi, whatever it is. And this gateway is given to the IoT cloud platform. Okay. So the IoT, from the IoT cloud platform only, the message is sending to the home appliances. Now we can see, elaborately see how it and all happening. Okay. So if you're communicating between the sensor to the gateway is nothing but my device to device connectivity. So this device to device connectivity is nothing but connectivity protocol in IoT. Okay. So the connectivity protocol can be a Bluetooth, Zigbee, or Wi-Fi, etc. Okay. So next, it is connecting. Next, the gateway is connecting to the or communicating to the IoT cloud platform is nothing but my device to server connection. That is known as the communication protocol. Communication protocol examples are MQTT, COAP, HTTP. These are the communication protocol. Okay. So now you should know the difference between the connectivity protocol and communication protocol. Connectivity protocol is nothing but connecting the sensor with the gateways, and communication protocol is nothing but communicating gateways to the IoT cloud platform. Okay, because why I'm telling this? So normally they will call Bluetooth as IoT protocol, or MQTT as IoT protocol, or LoRa as a IoT protocol. Simply they will tell, but most of them will have the confusion of what is this actually a protocol, whether it is where we are using this for the cloud platform. Can we use Bluetooth? No, it is only for the connectivity, right? So that is why I'm telling the difference. You should know the difference between the connectivity protocol and the communication protocol. Okay, so next is your IoT cloud platform is communicating with the home appliances, is nothing but my server to server communication. Okay, so server to server communication is happen through the messaging protocol through scripting languages. So scripting languages like HTTP, Java, Python, Node.js, these are the scripting languages. Then this device data can be routed from pocket to the front end. That front end can be my mobile app or web page, because from the mobile app only I'm just making my TV to get switch on, right? So that is my front end. So how it is happening? Through the scripting language. IoT cloud platform is communicating with your home appliances through the scripting language, right? So this is the architecture of IoT. And you can see here, IoT cloud platform, uh, it gets a value, get values out of connected objects with analytical tools. So this is actually a separate part where after you collected the data from the IoT, you have to do some analysis, right? So that is what I have represented here. This one we can see later. So now you understood what is the IoT architecture. So this is also the IoT architecture. Is nothing but I have the layers, things, gateways, clouds, and you can see here sensors, device, gateway, cloud. Now you understood the main blocks: sensor, gateways, IoT cloud platform, your devices or mobile app. Okay, this are the flow of IoT. Next, we can see what is mean by single node to single node connection. It's nothing but if I'm making the, again you just story, if I'm switch on only the television, that is only one node I'm just communicating, means it is known as the single node to single node connection. So this can be my sensor, iris sensor, then microcontroller. This node is my television. Okay. So next is a single node to multi-node connection. Single node to multi-node connection is nothing but again you just compare the story. Sensor, your microcontroller, and node 2 will be your television, and node 3 will be your water heater, and node 4 will be your coffee maker, isn't it? So these are the single node to multi-node connection. Okay, so now we can see what are the available cloud platform for the beginners. Okay, the first layer is the easiest cloud architecture, that is thingspeak.com and all is the easiest cloud architecture. And the second one is a medium cloud architecture. Medium cloud architecture, the famous one is a cloud MQTT. What is mean? It is also a freely available cloud platform. So it can connect to 5 devices, and also it can send the 1,000 messages per month, and it is also having we can collect a 6 samples per second. And if you want to go beyond, if you want to connect more than 5 devices, means you have to go for the paid version. Okay, this and all is available for free. Okay, and third layer is the hard cloud platform. So once you got familiar or you got experienced with the easy and medium cloud platform, you can go for the hard cloud platform. These are the available cloud platform for beginners. That is your communication protocol. Okay. Among those IoT protocol trends, MQTT is the widely used protocols. According to the Google survey, MQTT protocol is widely used protocols. Even in the toll gate and all, they are using this MQTT protocol only in order to communicate with the cloud platform. Okay, so that we are going to discuss briefly about this MQTT protocol. If you understood this MQTT protocol, you can have the clear idea about the communication protocol in IoT. Okay, fine. Next is IoT communication protocol, that is your MQTT. So MQTT is nothing but message. MQTT is nothing but message queuing telemetry transport protocol. It is actually a mission to mission protocol. MQTT protocol is a lightweight protocol. Lightweight means it requires only a less amount of data to transfer the whole information. And also it is a low power protocol. So that only it is very popular in IoT and microcontroller field. Okay. And you can see the block diagram of MQTT. You have a MQTT broker. MQTT broker will have a topics or subtopics. Okay. And this are the clients. The clients will subscribe to that. Sorry, the clients will subscribe to that topic or subtopics. For example, sensor, you just assume a sensor is publishing any pH value or a soil moisture value or a temperature value or a pressure value or water level value, whatever it is, then the client who subscribe to that topic will get the information done. I think you'll be having a confusion of what is this MQTT broker, what is publish, what is subscribe, what is client and all. So you just see the block diagram. I'm going to explain this one by one. Okay, fine. So in the MQTT, basic concepts is you have to understand what is publish or subscribe, what is messages, what is topic, and what is broker. So that is what we have looked into this block diagram. So this publish or subscribe. Okay. For example, I'm just starting on YouTube channel. Okay. So I'm just publishing some contents or topics in my YouTube channel. If you like my contents or topic, you will subscribe back to my channel. Then I will send a message saying thanks for subscribing. Same thing, sending a message. Sending a message to the client is nothing but my MQTTs. And okay. So now you can see with the example, publish or subscribe. Device 1 is my YouTube channel. I'm just publishing a content or any topic, and device 2 is you, that you are you like my content, then you are subscribed back to my channel. So that is a flow, right? So device 1 publishes on a topic. Okay, we can see what is meant by topic and all. Device 1 publishes on a topic, and device 2 is subscribed to the same topic in which the device 1 is publishing in, and device 2 receives the message. Okay, so the messages is nothing. The first one is over, right? Publish and subscribe, you understood, right? So next one is messages. Messages is nothing but information exchanged between your devices. It can be a command or data. For example, I'm just making the TV to switch on. I can send the message as on. Or I want to make the TV to switch off. I forget that I forget to switch off the AC. Then I went to office, means from the office you can switch off the AC by sending the message off. Okay, I think now you understood what is the messages. Now you got a clear idea about the publish or subscribe and messages and all. And you can now we can see what is meant by topic. Topics are represented with strings and separated with the slashes. Slashes indicates the topic level. Okay, for example, I'm just want to switch off or on the home office lamp. Just for example, you just take. So I'm just publishing the topic as home slash office slash lamp. Okay, so home and office is nothing but my topic level, and slashes is nothing but my topic level separator. Okay, I think you can understand by this diagram. Just topics means I'm just want to turn on my lamp. So MQTT client, this is one of the famous MQTT client, Node-RED. Okay, it is publishing the topic that we generated, right? Home slash office slash lamp with the message on. Okay, along with the message, my client is publishing, and this is your microcontroller. Green board is my microcontroller. From the microcontroller, From the microcontroller, it is given to the MQTT client, publishing or with the same topic. It should subscribe to the same topic, okay, and subscribe back to subscribe to home/office/lamp. So once it subscribe with the same topic only, then your lamp is getting on. So this is the flow of what is actually happening in the cloud platform, that is in your communication protocol. Okay. Again, I'm repeating. I'm just publishing some one topics with the same topic. The client should subscribe back. Okay. So I'm if I want to switch off this lamp, means I can send a message off with the same topic, or home/office/lamp message off, and it will subscribe back, and your lamp is off, right? So now we can understand what is meant by MQTT broker. So MQTT broker is nothing but it receives all the messages and filter out the message and publishes all the messages to all subscribed clients. And some of the MQTT brokers are Mosquitto, Eclipse. These are the MQTT brokers. Okay, now you see this block diagram that I shown in the first slide of MQTT explanation MQTT. Now you can see the block diagram. Now you can understand, right? So from the sensor, it is publishing with the topic, right? To make your lamp on, you just imagine the client one lamp and publishing the topic, and from the MQTT it is publishing, and with the same topic it is subscribe, and your from the mobile phone the information messages went to the home the electronic devices, and it is getting on. Okay, so here again you just compare with the story. We are just switch on the television, water heater, or a coffee maker. So these are the clients. The client one will be your TV, client two will be your AC, client three will be a water heater, client four will be your coffee maker. Okay, I think you understood briefly about this MQTT broker and all. So now we can have the small demo of how all this happening. Okay. Can you able to see my desktop?
Madam.
Okay, fine. So once you just go to Google, okay. Okay, fine. Just go to Google and type sensetechnique.com. Okay. I can't type here. Wait, I'll try my best. I just want to go to Google. Okay, fine. In the Google, if you go to Google, okay, fine. If you go to Google, you just type the sensetechnique.com. Okay, accounts dot sensetechnique.com. Then this is a window you will get it. Actually, you want to sign into the sensetechnique.com. It is free only. Can you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine, fine. So this is actually sensetechnique.com. You can go to Google and you can create your own account. It is free only. Once you sign in, you will get this window. Actually, the left one is your configuration window, and the right one is your red note window. Red note is nothing but I shown in the MQTT client, right? So that is known as a red note window. So here, actually, if you can click, you have the arrow mark down here. You just click, and actually you will be getting like this sheet one. This is the default one, and under the left hand side we have a common inject, debug, complete, catch, status, and all will be there. And functions with change range, everything will be available here. And the network MQTT, HTTP response, WebSocket, everything will be available. You just roll down and you can see all the things are available. And even you can have the dashboard, button, drop down, switch, everything is available right here. So I'm going to create my own client and broker format. I'm going to send the message from the broker to the client. Okay. So we can see how I'm doing. So if you want to start, this is actually a default screen. If you want to start means press add flow. You'll be getting a empty screen here. So let me check how it is actually happening. You just go to common and drag and drop the inject box and drag and drop the debug box. Its timestamp is nothing but it is going to show what is the time on the disk in terms of minutes, hours, and seconds. And this is your message payload. Message payload, you will get a message, right? So if you want to join this too, you just join with the wire, okay? And if you double click this timestamp, you can edit, right? So you can give the topic or whatever thing you need, you can edit this. If you double click this box, you can edit whatever you want to do. But now I don't want to edit, okay? So once you connected, once you completed your flow, you can click, you can see here at the right hand side, you have a deploy button. Just press deploy. So confirm deploy. And okay, now my deploy has been successfully deployed. Successfully, you will get a message like successfully deployed. If your connection is wrong means then error will come. Okay, so my deploy is over now. Then after you successfully did the deployed one, then you go to debug button. You have a debug. So at the center, debug messages, right? You just click the debug messages. Then you go to this message payload. You have a small box over here. You just click that small box. You can see the message called successfully deactivated and successfully activated. So again, I'm showing you. So it should activate, right? So at the last message, you should get the successfully activated. So I'm just clicking one time alone. You can see only the successfully deactivated. Okay. So if it is successfully deactivated means it will not work. So again, I'm just clicking. So now you can see the message as successfully activated. Okay. Once it is successfully activated, you can go here and again in the timestamp, this is actually my input. So I'm just clicking. You can see successfully injected timestamp. So once I click this, you can get the message over here. Please see here. I'm just going to click here. You just see at the right corner of your window. I'm just going to click here. Yes, 3 times I have generated. So this timestamp is nothing but in terms of, I will not get in terms of hours, minutes, or seconds. I will get a message. I have to transmit. I have to transmit to the hours or minutes or seconds. Okay, like this only. This cloud hosted node is activated. Okay, now I'm going to show you the live demo of how MQTT is going to act as a sending a message to your and how it is communicating between the IoT cloud platform and the your devices, right? You just roll down. You'll be having a network. Yeah, right. I got it. So you're having a network. You just drag and drop MQTT in. Okay, and go back. Just drag the debug. Okay, and you just connect this to. That is my second step. After it was connected, you just press deploy. Sorry. Before you go for deploy, you have to change. You have to do some changes in MQTT. So you just double click. If I want to add or something in this block means I should double click this. Can you able to hear me?
Yes, madam. Yeah, it's audible, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay, this is actually what again I'm showing you. You just double click this MQTT. You'll be getting one window, right? So you'll be having a server. Uh, you'll be having a server. You just click add new MQTT broker. So you can edit this. You just go to, I'm going to subscribe the broker of Eclipse. Okay, I have shown you example of MQTT brokers available or Mosquitto Eclipse. I'm going to uh, publish through Eclipse. Okay, you just type the name as Eclipse. Okay, and you go to server. You just type as mqtt.eclipse eclipse.org. Okay, so mqtt.eclipse.org. Fine. Now I have to give the client ID. Client ID is nothing but for all the client there will be some client ID. Okay, for example, again you just go to the story. You have a TV, water heater, and some other device. You will be having it will be providing some client ID. Okay, I'm just making us my client ID as TV. Okay, so now everything has been done. So I have given the name. My server is mqtt.eclipse.org. If you want to subscribe, or if you want to work with the broker of Mosquitto means, there will be a separate server for that Mosquitto, test.mosquitto.com. Okay. So now I'm going to subscribe this with the mqtt.eclipse.org. Okay, just press add button. Again, you will be having some window. You just give the topic. This is the topic what we have to give. Okay, you just same topic should be subscribed by that client. Okay, so the topic I told you now, home slash office slash lamp. Same, not same topic. You whatever you like, you can give the topic. I'm going to give the topic as some I'm just giving Uma, or whatever you want you can give. AMS, I'm just giving AMS. Okay, and you can give any name to your client. So I'm just giving TV on TV. Okay, so now it is done. Now my MQTT has been changed to Uma, and my topic is, you just keep it in mind, your topic is what? Topic is AMS. Okay, so now I have done with the editing of this MQTT. Now you go and deploy, confirm deploy. Okay, successfully deployed. Fine. So now I'm going to share the screen from my mobile phone, because I'm going to make my mobile phone act as a client. Okay, so I have to download the app called MQTT client. So I'm going to share the screen from my mobile phone. Yes, can you able to see my mobile phone screen?
Yes, madam.
Okay, fine. So you'll be having a MQTT client. MQTT client, you just click that MQTT client. Okay, you'll be getting a window called brokers, plus everything will be there. You just press plus button, and you'll be getting a add broker. You just enable that. Okay, and you click the nickname. You give some nickname. Okay, okay. Then you go to host. Okay, you just give the host as, what is a host we are going to subscribe? It's nothing but my MQTT. This is my server, right? So this is what I'm going to do. Eclipse.org. mqtt.eclipse.org. Just OK. Okay. And scroll down, you'll be getting a client ID. So client ID, I am going to give DV. Okay. So I think I have updated everything. First, you have to enable nickname, host, and client ID. Okay, 3 things you have to update. After you entered all those things, you just press the save button over here. Okay. So now you can see I have created the UMA mqtt.eclipse.org. You just long press or just click that. You'll be getting, you can see connected to TCP protocol. Okay, connected to TCP protocol, and down you can see the subscribe to a QoT, QoS, and up arrow mark. You just click the up arrow mark. I'm going to send a message from this mobile phone. So I have to subscribe with the same topic that I have given uh, in that website. Okay, what is the topic I have given? AMS I have given, right? So A is gaps, I think. AMS, case sensitive. Topic is a case sensitive. AMS I have given, and message I'm going to give on. Okay. So once I have given, you just press publish button. So that's all here. So I have sent the in order to make my TV to get switch on, I have sent the messages ON, and I have subscribed to the same topic as AMS. Okay, so that is what I want to show in the mobile phone. That's all about in the mobile phone. Now we can go to the screen of that where we can go to that website now. Okay. Yes. I think we have subscribed to the same topic. Now, after I did all the things in my mobile phone, I'm going to click the debug button here. So I want to debug the message, right? So once I click the debug button, I think it will take time to get the message. You should have a good network, then only you will get a message. Like for the time stamp we got the message, no? Like that we will get a message over here that is on. What is the message we have sent? On. So the same message we will get it. Okay, maybe it will take some time, so we can continue our presentation. Okay, so like this only the MQTT communication protocol is happening. Okay, so now I'm going to share the PPT. I think you enjoyed the live demo, right? So like this only this IoT communication protocol MQTT is happening. Okay. So now we go for the IoT microcontroller platform for beginners. What are the available microcontroller? Okay. So the first one is a Texas, the red color board is a by Texas Instrument. That is your launch pad. It is actually a ultra low power it can used for the ultra low power operation. For example, if you want to measure a temperature of boiler in industries for 1 month, you can use this. You can use this board because it can withstand. The battery can withstand for 1 month. Okay. So next is a ARM controller by the Philips company. If you want to control with the motor or PLC motors or servo motors, definitely you can choose this type of ARM controller based. It can withstand with high voltage and high current. And third one is your by Atmel company. It is a Trinket board. It is called as a Trinket board. It was developed by Atmel company. If you want to measure a low level of configuration, like between 0 to 1 or minus 0 to 1, like a pressure sensor will give the low level of 0 to 1, and God sensor will give the level of minus 1 to 0. Like this, for that applications, we can go for the Trinket board by Atmel company. And the next board is a nuclear board. This is developed by the light augmented. It is used for high resolution applications. For example, if you want to generate 1,000 pulses per second, or if you want to do some multiple operations, you can select this nuclear board. And next one is Arduino board. I think you don't need any explanation about this Arduino board. It is actually used for the prototyping purpose. And next is ESP32 board. This is actually a cheapest board available in the market. So it has inbuilt of Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and Ethernet. So now these boards ESP32 is the cheapest available board. You can use this board for your project. Okay, and last one is a MP Lab Express board by Microchip. It is also a low cost. It cost around rupees 400, I guess. So it is actually a big microcontroller. So this are the available microcontroller platform for beginners. So as a beginner, if you want to start your project in IoT, you can choose Arduino board. You can choose either Arduino board or ESP32 board. Okay. And next we come to IoT platforms. That is your connectivity protocol. What are the available connectivity protocols? Okay, the first one is a LoRa. So in LoRa, it can cover up to 865 to 868 megahertz range. It is actually a long range radio. It can control up to 10 kilometers. Okay, and next one is a Bluetooth 5.0. It is actually a mesh network. So any one network can send the data to the gateways. And next is a wireless HART. This is actually an instrumentation network. Instrumentation protocol. This can be used in industries. And next is it can connect the gateway, and it is also having a serial. It is actually a serial port. And next is a NRF 2401. And among this connectivity protocol, this is the cheapest available protocol. It costs around rupees 120, I guess. It is actually a low power, and it is also having a mesh network, and it can cover up to 1 kilometers. Okay. So, and next one is Ethernet shield. It is actually Ethernet shield. And next one is a smart mesh, and next one is a Wi-Fi, and next one is a GSM. Actually, this Arduino plus GSM is available in the market. So these are the available connectivity protocol, especially for beginners. You can choose as a beginner. Again, I'm telling, as a beginner, you can choose the Bluetooth, or even RS232 also you can choose. Okay. So as a beginner for the microcontroller, you can choose Arduino or ESP232, or for the connectivity protocol, you can choose a Bluetooth or a RS232. Okay. And next is a IoT microcontroller platform with own cloud. Okay. So MQTT and all is already available cloud. So anyone can access cloud in a free cost. Again, I'm telling, in a free of cost means you can connect up to 5 devices or 6 devices only. If you want to connect more than 5 devices, means you should go for the paid version. Okay. So this are the microcontroller platform which is having its own cloud. Okay. The first one is MK or Wi-Fi 1020. It is actually a inbuilt Wi-Fi. It is actually having a inbuilt Wi-Fi, and it is connected to its own Arduino cloud. Okay. And second one is a Linkit MediaTek board. It is also having its own cloud, own board, and also having own Arduino. And third one is Photon. You can actually directly insert the SIM here. Or for example, sensor will directly connect to the cloud. So all these boards are having its own cloud and own hardware, but the cost is little bit high when you compare to the previous microcontroller board that I have shown. The cost is little bit high. Okay. So now again we go for a small demo. Actually, I'm going to show the demo of because the previously I have shown, because in IoT the most important thing is how to do the connectivity protocol, how to connect the sensor with the gateway, and how to connect the gateway with your IoT cloud platform. Okay, so already I have shown the demo of how you're communicating or how you're sending the message. okay, by using MQTT communication protocol. Now I'm going to show the demo for IoT connectivity protocol. Communication protocol demo was over. Now we go for the IoT connectivity protocol. Okay, let us see the demo right now. Yes. Fine. You just go to Google. Can you able to see my screen?
Madam, yeah, it's yours.
Okay, fine. So you just go to Google. You just type yes. Yes, Remote XY. So you can go to this website, Remote XY. It will act as a remote control Arduino. Okay. So so you once you log in, you will get this window. You just click the start now. Yeah, this is a window you may get. This is actually will act as a mobile app. So that from the mobile app only we are going to control the device, right? Same thing will can be do with the help of this website. Okay, just we can quickly go through this because time is running out. Okay, we have a controls. You have a controls at the left hand side. That is your button, switch, select, slider, joystick. Everything is available right here. And in the properties, we have a configuration, module interface, and view and all. So this is actually mobile app screen that we used to see in the mobile phone. Okay, so let me quickly do how we can do this project. Okay, just go to configuration. So in the configuration we'll be having a Bluetooth, because we are going to show I'm going to show how you are going to interface the Arduino with the Bluetooth, right? So you just double click the configuration. You will be getting a window like this. That is, your connection is Bluetooth. So if you want to change the connection, it is not like that only I have to connect Bluetooth. It is not like that. You can choose any of the available connections. In the below you can see available connections. If you click the Wi-Fi, then your connection has been changed, right? So, but now I'm going to do with the Bluetooth only. And my device is Arduino UNO. I have selected. It is default. Arduino UNO I have selected. So you can see here, you can select Arduino Mega 2560 or Arduino Nano or Arduino Pro Mini, whatever you want, you can choose it. But here I'm going to choose the Arduino UNO. And next is module. In the module you have it is already available, right? So I'm going to choose the HC0506 Bluetooth module. You can choose any of this. You can go for Wi-Fi. I already told these are the available connectivity protocol. You can go for Wi-Fi, Ethernet, or USB, whatever you want. You can connect the module. And IDE, if you click the IDE, you will get the compatible IDE, Arduino and FL Prog and available IDEs and all. But I have chosen IDE. So this is a flow actually I have chosen. The connection is Bluetooth and the device is Arduino UNO and module is Bluetooth module, and a language is Arduino IDE. Okay, right? So once I selected my flow, you just go to apply and click apply. Fine. So now you can see at the at the right hand side, you have a Bluetooth Arduino that we have selected there. Bluetooth Arduino, Bluetooth module, and Arduino IDE. Okay. Now you just click the module interface. In the module interface, you'll be having software serial and hardware serial. You just click the hardware serial itself. Okay. And pins and all is fine. So if you want to do any changes in the buttons, you can double click this button. And you can see here pin 13 is LED, because in the Arduino we will connect at the pin 13. Okay, so this one I'm going to connect with the Arduino. Okay, I should have the Arduino hardware part with me and Bluetooth hardware part with me, and this this website is going to act as a mobile app where I can control whether I should on or whether I should do on or off condition of my home appliances. Okay. Once I did all these things, you can go to this get source code. If you click this get source code, yes, for that configuration alone, whatever I have chosen in the flow of configuration, right? So for that configuration, I got this source code. As a beginner, you don't know how to write the source code in the Arduino, you can go for surely you can go for this and you can get the source code right here. Okay. Now I'm going to copy this source code. Okay. So now I'm going to yeah, fine. So this is my Arduino UNO. So you want to create an account in the Arduino UNO. After you created the account, after entered your account, you can see this window. Okay. So here you're going to click the software online tools. Okay. So if you click the software online tools, you'll be getting window like this. Okay. You'll be getting a window like this. So I'm going to click the Arduino web editor. I think it will take time. Arduino web, yeah, it is loading. Yeah, I got it. Actually, already I have pasted the source code right here. So whatever you copied, right? You copied here, no source code. You have to paste that source code in your Arduino. Sorry. Yeah, in your Arduino editor. Right? So now I have the source code right here. You can see here. Now you can go to the website. You can see the steps. Download the source code that we have done and install the remote X sorry, and install the remote XY library for Arduino IDE. So once you install only, your app will get activate. So in order to install this remote XY library, you go to download library. Okay, you'll be getting like this, and you just download the first one. Okay, I'm not going to show now because it will take more time. Okay, you have to click this download button. After you click this download button, you may go to the Arduino editor. Again, after you downloaded that remote XY library, you want to upload that remote XY library in your Arduino editor. Okay, how you can upload means here you'll be having a window import. Okay, you just click the import button, import. So from your desktop, I think I have already downloaded that. Yes, yesterday I have downloaded. So I'm already having that library. If you don't have, you just download it. Okay, I'm just clicking open. So it is importing, my file is importing. Like this only you want to import the file to your Arduino. Not only for this project, you can, if you are a beginner in IoT, you can, if you know how to write the Arduino program and all, you can directly go and enter your Arduino program and directly you can connect with your Arduino hardware and you can do the project. Okay, yes. While your file is importing, I think it will take more time. Yes, libraries successfully imported. You just click OK. So now my library got successfully imported. Okay, so after this, you go to remote XY and back page. Okay, right. So now I installed the remote XY library and also I uploaded that library into my Arduino editor and compile the source code. You have to compile the source code and upload it to the Arduino board. So that I told now you should have the Arduino hardware part with you. So once you compile the source code, that source code will be transferred to your Arduino board. And finally, you can connect the Bluetooth module and you can install it and you can connect to the Arduino using the mobile app. Mobile app is nothing but I got in this window from that. So after this webinar, you go and do your own, you can start your own Arduino IoT Arduino project. Okay. So again, one more thing I have to show is if you click the how it works, you'll be getting one window. So here everything is available. How to do, how to connect, everything is available. You can go and read here. And if you click the examples, you'll be getting many projects over here. So as a beginner, you want to start the Arduino project, definitely you can go to this website and you can learn how it is happening. You can easily download the source code right here. So from the source code, you can read the source code how they have written. So you can take the notes from that. From that onwards, you can start to write your own Arduino code, right? So this is actually the first project of flashing a LED Arduino by clicking on the smartphone. Okay. So I think source code is available. Everything is available. You can go and read. Okay. So this is what I want to show you. And one more thing I want to show you is go to Google search, type Tinkercad. So this is www.tinkercad.com. Here also you want to create your own account. It is also easily available, or if you want means you can connect with your Google accounts. Okay. So this is my tinkercad.com dashboard. Okay. Once you log in with this website, you will get the window like this. Here at the left hand side, you can see the 3D design, circuits, code blocks, lessons and all. You can go for the circuits. But if you want to do a 3D designs, you can go for 3D design. If you want to do the circuits, you go for the circuits and click try or create new circuit. You just click create new circuit. Okay. Once you click the create new circuit, you can wait. Yeah, fine. You got it. Right. So once you click the create circuit. It is actually I have done before this webinar. Okay. At the right hand side, you will be having a components. You can see the components right here. You'll be having an Arduino vibration motor, DC motor, NPN transistor, diode, LED, RGB, PIR sensor, 9-volt battery. Everything is available right here. If you want to start with the Arduino project, if you click this, you can easily available. See here, you can drag and drop here. Or if you want to take a resistor, you can take drag and drop. That's it. If you want to do LED, you drag and drop. So that's it. So if you want to search any components, you can enter the components and you will get the components. Okay, these are the easily available components. This is also one of the easiest way of learning Arduino as a beginner. This is also very important website. You can do your own circuits. You can design your own 3D models. You can go with the code blocks, whatever you want, you can do. And even you can create your own project. All the things you can do here. So after this webinar, go to this website and start your project, right? Okay. So now we can go to the slide. Yes. So this part is over. Demo was over. I think you got a good experience with the demo, how to connect the Arduino with the Bluetooth interface. Okay, later you can go to those website and you can learn it. Okay, so now we come for the main your IoT for smart campus. Actually, by using the Internet of Things to put the campus infrastructure on the IP network, such as outdoor lightings, you can see lighting use, traffic flow, air quality, watering use, and parking facilities, and more. When all the people or devices and applications on campus share a common technology infrastructure, they can interact with each other to enable the experiences and efficiencies that weren't possible before. And also the campus become a platform for innovation, and we should tell thanks to IoT data. how it is used to enhance or create a new services and efficiencies. We can divide the smart campus in three categories. One is a smart living, smart learning, and smart safety and security purpose. All of which can able increase the student engagement, which is vital to help the students transition to university life and help them to obtain all the resources they need to success. Okay, so this is the introduction about the IoT for smart campus. And now you can ask me how to turn your college into a smart campus using IoT. I'm just giving several ideas of IoT for smart campus, project ideas for the IoT smart campus. The first one is a smart cards. Smart cards for all the students and employees. From this card, you can access to the library, lab, and you can you can use it for the biometric attendance, and you can use it for the bicycle sharing system, to be enabled through the smart cards. And second project idea is sensor based doors. Actually, you can do this project in your college itself. It is a sensor based doors for entry in departments, labs, and you can go for the bus tracking using GPS, smart speed sensors across the campus. Okay, and third idea is motion sensing light and fan could be initiated. So once the student enters the classroom, the light and fan should get switched on. Like that, also the project you can do implement for the IoT smart campus. And the next is for ensuring a sustainability, smart management of electricity. Actually, most of them they will not concentrate on this. That is saving of electricity, saving of water, and waste management and all. They will not concentrate at all in most of the colleges. If you concentrate or if you connect with the IoT, then it will be a good a good starter. Okay, and final one is online book recommendation from library for the faculty, and you can go for the bike parking system. So these are the ideas of IoT for a smart campus. Okay, fine. So now I think we come to the conclusion. So IoT collaboration with other domain. Okay, so before that, I want to tell you one thing for IoT for smart campus. If you are a faculty, you can form a group. Okay, you can, for example, in a class you're having a 50 students, you can form a group as five students. Totally, you will get a 10 projects, right? You can do the 10 projects. So if you are doing any project, means there should be some user, right? If the students completed their project, means who will be the user to use that project? If you are choosing a IoT for smart campus as your project, who will be a user? Obviously your college, right? Your college will be the user. So you can choose the project in the domain of IoT for smart campus. You can give that project to the students. Even you can start from the second years, that I have shown some websites and all. So you can give the trainings how to connect with IoT, all the trainings you can give to the students, and you can develop a prototype model. For example, the sensor based door itself, you can develop a prototype model, and you can present in front of your head of the department or a principal, and they can fund you. And in the third year you can implement as a real time project, right? So you just imagine, you just placing a sensor. Once the student is standing in front, it is automatically opening and getting the and giving the notification to the light and fan. It is automatically switch on. You just imagine if your class is like that, means so you can you should not think that the higher authorities should do. Even as a student, you can start the project for the IoT for smart campus. I think I recommend the faculty who's working in the engineering or polytechnic colleges, you can use of it. Okay, so this is one point I want to tell you. And the next thing is IoT collaboration with other domain. So in the IoT collaboration with other domain is like, so okay, I'm familiar with the IoT project. I know IoT completely. Shall I complete my research with IoT? No. You can extend your IoT project with the other domain also. For example, I'm telling, what is my input device in the IoT? Sensor, right? What is my input device in the IoT? Sensor, right? You can design the sensor. If you are a CSE faculty, you can collaborate with the other department faculty, like EC department knows how to design a sensor like biosensors or a bios and MEMS sensor, NEM sensors and all available sensors. Okay, you can collaborate with the EC department, and you can ask the DC department to design a sensor for us. You can use that sensor. Why should you use the already available sensor? You can design your own sensor and you can use it for your own project, right? So that by this way you can collaborate with the other department people. Okay, so okay, fine. So now we come to the thing, how IoT can be collaborate with other domain. Okay, actually, what is the target of IoT? What is the outcome from the IoT? The outcome from the IoT is nothing but collection of data, right? So after you collected the data, what you are going to do? For example, I'm just measuring a temperature in a boiler for 1 month. Okay, just imagine I'm just measuring a temperature by using the temperature sensor in a boiler through IoT. I'm just measuring it. Okay, for 1 month. Okay, after 1 month, you just imagine how much data you will be having in your hand. Measuring the temperature in order to predict the boiler, when it is getting more temperature, whether during the summer season or in the winter season, or during the morning time or during the afternoon time or during the night time, so that according to that we can supply the cooling system. Okay, so in order to predict this is my problem actually. So in order to predict this, I'm just collecting a data through the IoT. Obviously you know how to connect the IoT, how to collect the data and all, you know, right? So once the data was collected, you just imagine for 1 hour it is the device is receiving more than 1,000 temperature values. Okay, for you just imagine after 1 month how much data you will be having in your hand. What you will do with that data? So it's nothing but my big data, right? Big data analytics. It's nothing but my big data analytics. Once you collect the data from the IoT, you can go for the big data analytics as a separate domain. Okay, and you can predict. I told you, in order to predict the boiler, you can apply some algorithms in the collection of data. Okay, algorithms in the sense you can go for the machine learning algorithm, or you can go for the deep learning algorithm. If So you can go for the machine learning algorithm or a deep learning algorithms and all. So data science is also again a collection of data. You're going to work on it. And the cyber security is nothing but, so once you're communicating with the IoT cloud platform, so it is actually a easy, freely available cloud platform, right? Communication protocol. So anyone can able to get your data. So security is one of the biggest challenges in the IoT. Okay, next you can go for the cloud computing. So like this only, you can extend your research project. If you want to do a research or if you want to do a PhD, definitely I'm just suggesting you to take IoT as the one part. And secondary part, you should collaborate with different domain, like IoT with machine learning, or IoT with deep learning, or IoT with big data analytics. If you collaborate like this, you will get a complete system. Okay, I think my talk was over. Thank you all. Thank you all for your patience. I think you got a very good knowledge. Not very good. You got some introduction, or like a beginners, as a beginners. How can I start my IoT project and all? I think you got a good idea. I think I conclude my webinar. Thank you all. If you have any queries, or if you in the future, if you want to collaborate with me, you just contact me through my email ID. And also I am just giving my mobile phone also. Don't misuse it. Okay. So you can contact me at any time if you want to do some project in IoT, or if you, I am actually a machine learning expert. So if you want to collaborate, I have a IoT collection of data, but I don't know the machine learning algorithms means, you can contact me and we can apply a machine learning algorithm in order to make a complete system. Okay. So, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. You've given a wonderful explanation on the live demo about that IoT technology. I hope
Thank you, sir. It's my
all
pleasure.
the participants will understand the IoT technology. A small, after this session, we have a small session video will play by our technical person about our college. Please, participant, please listen.
A student of Alim Mohammed Polytechnic College in the Department of Computer Science Engineering. In this college, we have a good infrastructure, good teaching staffs, canteen facilities separate for girls and separate for boys, which provides hygienic and pure food.
Faculty members always motivate our students to enhance their technical skills and make them industry ready and fit for the society.
நம்ம வாழ்க்கை எப்படி நீங்களே முடிவு. ஆனால் இந்த காலேஜ் மிக நல்லா இருக்கு, கேம்பஸ் நல்லா இருக்கு, அழகா இருக்கு, சூப்பரா இருக்கு.
இந்த பாலிடெக்னிக்கை தேர்ந்தெடுப்பதன் மூலமாக அவர்கள் மிகச் சிறப்பான உன்னத நிலைக்கு செல்ல முடியும். வேலை இல்லாமல் எமது கல்லூரியிலிருந்து செல்ல முடியாது என்ற லெவலுக்கு நாங்கள் எங்களுடைய பிளேஸ்மெண்ட்டை பாலிடெக்னிக் பட்டயப்படிப்பு பொறுத்தவரை நாங்கள் வைத்திருக்கின்றோம்.
Dear participants, this is a time for the question answer discussion. I have got a few questions. The first question is from Bashir Ahmed. He is working in Trichy College, Trichy Jamal Muhammad College. Okay, and there is a problem in security with cloud. Yes, obviously, as I told, there is a problem in security with cloud because that is a field called the cyber security. You can go for the cyber security and you can analyze those things. And how far IoT is successful in upcoming years? Obviously, IoT is actually the growth is like a drastic. So you can use IoT in the applications like healthcare field, or nowadays they are going for the smart cities. So in the smart cities, IoT plays a major role. Okay, even as a smart, the college as a smart campus, and also another field is industrial IoT. Also, you can concentrate on. Okay,